Not everyone who listens to you wishes you well. You may think you're just being open, honest, transparent. You may believe that sharing your thoughts, your goals, and your struggles brings you closer to others. And sometimes it does. But other times, more often than we like to admit, it arms the wrong people with exactly the tools they need to hurt you. What are the very things you reveal about yourself? Your dreams, your struggles, your plans are what make you most vulnerable. In an age of social media, podcasts, and personal branding, you're constantly encouraged to share your truth, to be authentic, to put yourself out there. But the Stoics saw things differently. Marcus Aurelius, a man who held the power of an empire, wrote private notes to himself, not to the world. Epictetus reminded his students that self-mastery begins with silence. Seneca urged discretion, warning that too much openness exposes the soul to corruption, because Stoicism teaches not just what to say, but when to stay silent. You don't have to lie, you don't have to be cold, but you do have to be careful. You live in a time where exposure is celebrated, but exposure also invites harm. When people know too much about you, your weaknesses, your ambitions, your doubts, they can exploit them, twist them, or use them to undermine you. Not everyone who smiles is a friend. Not every audience is a safe one. The Stoics warned that inner peace begins with inner privacy. This is not about fear, it's about discernment, protection, strength. What follows are 9 sacred things you must keep to yourself. Not because you're hiding, but because you're choosing to guard the most important parts of who you are. Because what the world doesn't know, it can't manipulate. And what you keep within, you keep in your power. There is a quiet truth few admit. What you speak too soon can be stolen, stained, or silently struck down. In a world where attention is currency and opinions flood without invitation, your intentions are sacred ground, but many scatter them carelessly, revealing their heart's blueprint to those who neither understand nor respect the weight of what's shared. The Stoics warned us, what is not yet solid must be shielded, and your dreams, still in formation, are vulnerable to erosion, not only by enemies, but by the indifferent, the insecure, and even the well-meaning. Secret 1. Your long-term goals. Your long-term goals are more than plans. They are extensions of your inner self, crafted in solitude, shaped by personal meaning. But speak them aloud too soon, and you may find not encouragement, but discouragement cloaked in concern. Are you sure that's realistic? What if it doesn't work? These questions often don't arise from logic, but from the discomfort your vision causes in others. When someone has settled for less, your bold ambition unsettles their peace. It forces reflection on what they abandoned, and rather than confront that pain, they'll project doubt onto you. This is not always malicious, but it is dangerous. A Stoic remains cautious, knowing that people discourage, not always because they foresee failure, but because your pursuit reminds them of their own forgotten fire. Keep your vision guarded, nurture it in silence, let your actions shape it into something undeniable before inviting the world to weigh in. Secret 2. Your next strategic move. There is a temptation to share plans, to gain quick validation or appear decisive, but not every friend is a confidant, and not every ear that listens is free of envy. Sharing your next step prematurely gives others leverage, power over outcomes they do not deserve to influence. One whispered doubt, one poorly timed comment, and momentum can be lost. Not externally, but within your own mind. The Stoic understands timing. Just as a general does not reveal their battle plan to all soldiers, you must guard your next move until it's already in motion or irreversible. Strategy thrives in discretion. Let your execution be the announcement. A Stoic speaks when the moment requires, not before. Secret 3. Your deepest insecurities. In moments of trust, it may feel natural to expose your fears, to lay bare the wounds beneath the armor. But even trust has limits. What is shared in vulnerability can later be used in harm. not always by design, but by impulse. The argument that turns cruel, the friend who feels betrayed, the person who no longer holds the same loyalty, each becomes a potential vessel of exposure. The Stoics believed that self-awareness was the beginning of mastery. To know your flaws is to disarm their power, but to share them carelessly is to offer ammunition. Not every listener is a keeper of secrets. Some are collectors of weakness, consciously or unconsciously storing what may later serve their own pain or pride. Seneca taught that inner strength comes from inner control. Your weaknesses are for you to refine, not for others to hold. Heal them privately, speak them sparingly, reveal them only where virtue and wisdom have been proven over time. Epictetus cautioned, "Be silent for the most part, or if you speak, say only what is necessary and in few words." It is not secrecy for secrecy's sake, it is discipline. Words carry weight, and the Stoic knows that careless speech invites chaos. To speak of intentions before they are stable is like planting a seed and leaving it in the wind, hoping it will root. While exposed to every storm and stranger, your dreams are still soft clay, malleable, impressionable. They must be shaped in silence and fired in action before they are shown. What you build in private gathers strength. What you announce in haste may dissolve under scrutiny. Guard your intentions not out of fear, but out of wisdom. The world does not need to understand your journey at its beginning. Let them witness its result. In the meantime, protect your focus, protect your progress, speak less, do more. And remember, what is sacred is not always secret, but it is always selective. In the quiet moments of life, your inner world becomes your sanctuary. It holds your battles, your growth, your questions, and your healing. But speak too freely of this sacred space, and you open the gates to those who do not come to understand, but to judge, exploit, or distort. The Stoic mind understands the need for boundaries, not just around possessions or time, but around the soul itself. The emotional realm is not meant for public display. It is meant for stewardship. And when shared without discernment, your peace becomes a playground for manipulation. Secret 4. Your emotional triggers. We all have them, those moments that strike a nerve, that awaken pain, fear, or fury. But while self-awareness is strength, public exposure of these wounds is risk. When the wrong person learns where it hurts, they hold a subtle power over you. They may not say it outright, but they'll find ways to press on those bruises when it benefits them. In conflict, they'll echo your insecurities. In manipulation, they'll disguise control as care. To know your triggers is wise, but to hand them out like invitations is unwise. Know thyself, but do not show thy wounds. A Stoic tends to his pain in silence, mastering it, so it no longer masters him. Emotional thieves are often subtle. They smile when you speak, but they store what you say. They wait for moments of imbalance. They use your honesty against you. Not always with cruelty, but often with selfish intent. Protect your emotional triggers like locked doors. Not to shut the world out, but to let in only those who earn the right to enter. Secret 5. Family conflicts and private drama. There is a modern temptation to narrate every struggle, especially those tied to family and history. We want to be understood. We want someone to witness the pain. But in that exposure, judgment creeps in. Outsiders begin to define your family story with their assumptions. They reduce your nuance to entertainment or gossip. When you speak of unresolved wounds, you hand over your peace to a crowd that cannot heal what they did not live. And worse, what you share may be reshaped, thrown back at you in moments when you least expect it. A Stoic does not air the intimate for public digestion. Some matters require solitude, counsel, and internal resolution. To keep the sacred private is not to hide, it is to preserve. Every unresolved conflict deserves the dignity of privacy. Speak of your family with intention, not frustration. The silence of restraint is sometimes louder than words. Peace begins where you place your boundaries. and nothing requires firmer boundaries than the emotions that run deepest. Secret 6. Your spiritual or philosophical beliefs. With certain people, your beliefs are born from contemplation, pain, and awakening, whether shaped by years of searching or a moment of clarity. They are precious. But not all conversations are safe havens for such truths. There are those who do not seek to understand, but only to oppose. They wait not to hear you, but to challenge you. And soon, what was once sacred becomes a debate. Some people argue not to explore truth, but to win. They twist conviction into conflict, and in doing so they drain your energy, not by their disagreement, but by their intent to dominate rather than connect. The Stoics believed in measured dialogue. Marcus Aurelius engaged with ideas, but avoided those who sought argument for its own sake. He understood that conversation without mutual respect is a trap, not a dialogue. Your belief should be shared only where there is openness, where disagreement does not mean war, where truth is pursued, not weaponized. Choose your conversations like you choose your food. Only what nourishes. Speak with those who are rooted in their own path, but curious about yours. With everyone else, hold silence, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And if the soul is the canvas, then your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are the palette. Not everyone should have access to that palette. You do not allow every hand to paint on your walls. Why then allow every voice to shape your inner world? Guarding your energy is not selfish, it is self-preserving. It is choosing to stay rooted in a world that constantly tries to uproot you with noise, judgment, and provocation. What you share determines what you suffer, and the Stoic does not suffer needlessly. This does not mean isolation, it means discretion. It means speaking when the soil is fertile, not when it is barren or hostile. It means waiting for the right ear, not the nearest one. And when that ear is found, only then do you speak with depth and truth. Your emotional energy is the fuel of your life. It governs your clarity, your choices, your peace. But it is finite. And in a world full of emotional thieves, those who feed on your honesty, distort your pain, or debate your beliefs, you must protect that energy like gold. Do not mistake silence for weakness. It is power under control. The Stoic does not expose his soul to the reckless winds of public opinion. He guards it, he nourishes it, and he shares it only with those who have earned the privilege of seeing what lies within. Let others shout into the void. You remain still. Let your silence be strength. Let your boundaries be wisdom. And when you do speak, may your words come not from impulse, but from inner alignment. That is how you guard your energy from those who would steal it, and how you keep your peace unshaken. There is a sacred part of you that exists far from the gaze of others, a place where your choices reveal your character, not your reputation. In that space lives your integrity, not the version sculpted for approval or applause, but the one forged in solitude. Yet, in today's world, even morality is marketed. Goodness becomes content, wins become announcements, and slowly, virtue is traded for validation. A Stoic sees the danger here. Not all things meant to be preserved should be paraded. Some truths lose their strength the moment they are spoken aloud. Secret 7. Your good deeds done in silence. There is a quiet honor in doing good with no audience. Whether it's a kindness shown, a life uplifted, or a burden carried, when it is done in silence, it belongs to the soul. But when good deeds are shared too freely, something shifts. The intention becomes cloudy. The purity of the act is lost beneath the need for recognition. It is no longer about virtue, it is about visibility. The Stoics believe that true virtue is its own reward. Seneca often warned that righteousness should not be performed like a play for public praise. A wise man acts justly, whether seen or unseen, because to him goodness is not a strategy, it is a state of being. When you do good, let it echo in the lives it touches, not in the words used to describe it. Let your integrity be known through presence, not proclamation. Deeds done in silence carry a power untouched by ego. Secret 8. Your financial situation. Whether you walk in abundance or navigate hardship, speaking openly about your financial state is rarely neutral. Wealth can invite silent expectations. Others begin to calculate what you should offer. They mistake your success for obligation. Meanwhile, sharing struggle can expose you to pity, judgment, or even exploitation by those who mask help with control. The Stoic guards such disclosures carefully. Money is a tool, not an identity. And when your financial life becomes public property, your freedom quietly diminishes. The wealthy may be resented, the struggling may be underestimated. Either way, the outcome is imbalance. To protect your autonomy, speak little of your money. Let your character define your worth, not your account. For a Stoic, dignity is not for sale, and fortune, good or bad, is never the measure of a man. Seneca wrote, "A wise man is content with himself." This is the root of integrity. You do not need others to affirm your ethics, your efforts, or your value. You do not require applause to confirm that you are on the right path. Privacy, in this sense, is not secrecy. It is purity. It is protection from the corrosion that comes with constant exposure. Guard your integrity before it is chipped away by small, repeated trades. A good deed posted, a financial truth shared, a principle bent for convenience. When you act rightly without the need to be seen, you sharpen your inner compass. You align with the Stoic ideal to do what is just, because it is. Your most sacred truths don't need an audience. They need your protection. Let the world wonder. Let them guess. Let your actions speak only where they must, and let the rest remain yours. There is a final secret deeper than all the rest. It is not a strategy, not a tactic, not even a truth to be spoken aloud. It is the core of your being, the quiet center around which your life turns. Your inner peace, the most fragile and powerful possession you own. Unlike money, it cannot be stolen. Unlike reputation, it does not depend on others, but once exposed, it can be tested, twisted, and slowly eroded by the world's noise. And so, the wise man keeps it guarded, not hidden out of fear, but protected out of reverence. Secret 9. Your inner peace and mental fortitude. Your calm presence will confuse people. In a world addicted to urgency, noise, and emotional volatility, peace looks suspicious. It draws attention, not always admiration. Some will be drawn to it for refuge. Others will prod it, poke at it, trying to prove it false. They will test your patience, challenge your beliefs, create chaos, just to see if they can crack your composure. And if they succeed, they feel powerful. If they fail, they feel exposed. This is why your serenity must remain your silent strength. Do not explain it. Do not justify it. Do not parade it. Let it speak through your decisions, not your declarations. Your ability to remain still in the face of fire is not for show. It is your shield. When you control your state, you are not at the mercy of others. And that terrifies those who are. Epictetus taught that no man is free who is not master of himself. And to master yourself, you must first master the storm within. Not destroy it, understand it, discipline it, accept it. Inner peace does not come from escaping the world. It comes from not allowing the world to penetrate your core. Picture a man in a crowded room. People argue around him. Someone insults him. Another laughs behind his back. A third questions his intentions, trying to bait a reaction. But he says nothing. He listens, then simply walks away. Not in weakness, but in wisdom. That man is not cold. He is disciplined. He is not emotionless, he is governed. He has known chaos, he has known betrayal, failure, and the sting of being misunderstood. But through it all, he chose calm over chaos. He chose purpose over provocation. And so now, the world's noise finds no purchase in him. He becomes untouchable, not because he is indifferent, but because he is anchored. That man is stoic. And that peace, that stillness in the storm, it is not an accident. It is earned, protected, and never offered lightly. There are those who do not want peace, they want control. And when they see you possess what they cannot, they will test it. They will ask invasive questions, not for understanding, but for disruption. They will interpret your calm as a challenge, your silence as arrogance. And so peace must become your quiet rebellion. You owe no one a performance. You are not here to prove your enlightenment. You are here to live it. Protect your mental fortitude like a fortress. Do not offer your stability to the unstable. Do not explain your clarity to the confused. And above all, do not let temporary chaos steal the serenity you fought to build. To be stoic is not to be silent for silence's sake. It is to speak with precision, act with principle, and withdraw not from life, but from distraction. It is to walk through fire without screaming, to stand firm when others sway, to think clearly when the world goes blind with rage. Your peace is not the absence of difficulty, it is the presence of discipline. It is knowing that though the world may shake, you will not. Because your root is deep, your will is strong, and your emotions answer to reason, not reaction. Stoicism is not retreat, it is sovereignty. When you control your speech, you control your fate. When you protect your peace, you possess the rarest kind of power, the kind that does not need to be proven. Your inner calm is the foundation of every other secret you've guarded. It holds your ethics in place, it filters who earns access to your dreams, it defends your emotions from theft, and in the end, it is the one treasure that makes all others meaningful. Let the world spin, let the voices rise, let the tests come. Remain still, remain grounded, and when they ask why aren't you reacting, smile, not in pride, but in purpose, because you've mastered the one secret that holds all others, and that the world cannot touch. We live in loud times, times where the world demands you speak before you think, post before you reflect, and share before you truly understood what you hold. But the Stoic path is different. It reminds us that the most powerful truths are often quiet, that strength is not always displayed, it is often preserved. What you choose not to share, you still own. What you protect, you keep. Silence is not always secrecy. Sometimes it is sovereignty. You've now walked through the quiet corridors of your most sacred possessions. Your goals, your pains, your beliefs, your morality, your peace. You've seen how easily the world can twist them when they are spoken into the wrong rooms, handed to the wrong hands. This video has not asked you to fear others, but to respect yourself. To understand that some things are not meant for the public square. Some things must grow in silence before they can stand in the storm. There is nothing paranoid about privacy. There is nothing weak about restraint. The wise man does not cast pearls into the street. He knows what is valuable, and he does not argue with those who do not. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do, only what you do." That is the essence of this reflection. You are not here to manage the noise. You are here to master your nature. You are here to build something inwardly strong and outwardly calm. That work cannot be rushed, it cannot be broadcast, and it must not be interrupted. So ask yourself, which of these secrets have you learned the hard way to keep? Which ones cost you peace when spoken too soon or to the wrong person? Share your story in the comments, only what you are ready to share. Your experience may protect someone else's. It may be the quiet wisdom they didn't know they needed. And if this message stirred something in you, pause before you scroll. Like the video, share it with someone who overshares, not out of weakness, but out of trust. Subscribe for more Stoic truth that protects not just your mind, but your spirit. This isn't about living in fear, it's about living with intention. You now know what must be kept and why. Let that clarity be your compass. Let it guide you into a quieter, stronger version of yourself. Silence, when chosen wisely, is not absence. It is armor